All right, we're going to name all of these in at least two different ways, okay? So is this a segment or a ray or a line? Which one is this? Do you see any arrows? No, so it's a segment. It stops on both sides. So we can call it KM with the little segment on top of it. Or, because since there aren't any arrows, what else could we call it? KM or MK. Perfect. You can't use the L because it has to go from endpoints to endpoints. But super. Do you feel like, now you want to self-assess as we go through this. On your test, if you have a question like that, which you will, I made this exactly like the test. Do you think you would get that one right? Yeah, that's all you got to do. You wake up. Okay. All right. Is this a segment or an array or a line? That's a line. So it's the exact same thing, but it really doesn't matter which two letters you pick. You can pick any two because it doesn't stop at all. So you could call it RQ and put the little arrows on. What else could you call it? QR. Or, and I might not list every single option here because there's kind of a lot of them, but what else? Can we name like one more? Yeah, PQ. Or QP. Or PR. Do you get what I'm saying? Pick any two letters in any order. It doesn't matter. On your test, do you feel like you would get that one right? Like that, I'm going to ask you that every single question. That's all you've got to be able to do. And if you are answering to yourself, hey, I don't feel like I would get that one right, maybe put a star next to that question and then like right before the test, look it over or something, okay? All right, here's an angle. You want to put the vertex in the middle. So we could call it angle QPR. Or what else? Angle what? Yep, RPQ. Or, since it's only one angle and nothing else is attached, you could just call it angle P. You can just call it by the vertex. You're fine to sit wherever as long as you're still listening, okay? Right? Is this a segment or a line or a ray? Right. Okay, this is the one where the order matters. You have to start at the point and go in the direction of the arrow. So you could call it GE or you could call it GF. Those are the only two options for that one. So do you feel like with naming these that you could do that on your test? Okay. And if you feel like one of them was like, hey, I might not remember that, put a star next to it and then look it over right before you take your test. If you're going to find the value of the variables, that just means the letters, X, Y, Z, whatever they're called, okay? So for this one, do you see how this is a straight line? What is a straight line worth? How many degrees? 180. 180, perfect. So if this is 142, how can we get this amount? Subtract, it's 180 minus 142. Again, I'm going to just be your calculator. I don't want to do it wrong in my head, so I'm going to just type it in. I got 38. So 38 is what X equals. That's it. Straight line is 180. We subtracted from 180. For this one, do you see the little square in there? What does that mean it's worth? 90. So if this part's 37, how do we get X? It's almost the exact same as the one we just... Yeah, 90 minus 37 is going to give you what's left. And again, I just don't want to mess it up in my head, so I'm going to type it in the calculator. So 90 minus 37, I got 53. I just put it into Desmos. Are you doing so far? Okay. You really have to find X and Y. So just go ahead and set it up that X equals Y equals. It doesn't matter what order you find them in. I would actually do Y first. Do you see how this is 128? And Y is directly across from it. I will be really impressed if anyone remembers because this was a couple classes ago. What is it called when they're across from each other and they're equal? They are congruent. It begins with a V. Do you remember? Vertical angles. Perfect. So Y is going to be 128. Those are congruent. So those are the same. So what could you do to get this part that we're missing, the X part? So we have to actually type something into Desmos this time. Go ahead. Yeah, do you see how that's a straight line? If you do 180 minus 128, that'll give you what's left for x. So 180 minus 128. And listen, this is another one of my pep talks. If you get stuck and you are like, I don't know what to do something with a 90 or a 180. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the two numbers, and you're probably going to be right. Do something with a 90 or a 180, okay? All right, for number 8, you have an x, a y, and a z. So let's go ahead and set it up so we can fill them all in. X, y, and z. And I'm going to do x first. Again, what does the little square mean? It's 90. So if that's 90, x is 90. Yeah, that you can also put a little square there. So x is going to be 90. That's easy peasy. That's all that there is to it. Basically, just don't overthink anything. Okay? Do you see how the 150 and the z are across from each other? So vertical angles. So z would be 150. And I'm seeing computers up. Can we please shut those? Again, that's just so we're going to respect each other thing. That's all that is. When you take your test, you'll be able to use your Desmos. Right? So z is 150. And then what could we do to get y? Hint, it's almost the exact same as the one we just did. Yep, 180 minus 150 is going to give us, well, yeah, that one I can do in my head. That one's 30. But of course, you can use Desmos. This is going well. Good. All right, number 9. Again, we have a straight line, which is 180. This one is 36. This one is 90. How could I get the one that we're missing? We would add those together, right? 90 plus 36, that would be 126. So this whole thing is 126, and then what? Yep, good. 180 minus 126. Basically, just use your common sense. Like you have common sense, I promise. All right. So I just put that in the calculator, and I got 54. So x is 54. If you felt like, hey, I might not remember that one, put a star next to it. Okay. And again, I'm recording all of this. You can always, right before the test, go back and rewatch it. It won't be that long of a video, and get a quick review. Okay. Doing good. All right, here we're going to have to do some algebra 1. So we're going to see who remembers their algebra 1. Little square is worth 90. So what you're going to do is add these two together and make it equal to 90. So you're going to write, this one involves a little writing, okay? You can't just put it in the calculator. 4x minus 3 plus 2x plus 15 equals 90. You got to care now. You have to care. Next class, it'll be too late. I'm going to hand you the test, or you got to care right now. Right? Do you see how it's really long? What can we do to put it together? Make your algebra 1 teacher proud. Yeah, like terms. All right. So 4x goes with 2x, so that'll be 6x. Negative 3 plus 15 would be 12. You can put negative 3 plus 15 into your Desmos. That's fine. I'm just being your calculator right now. All right, equals 90. We got 2 more steps. What's next? We will divide. Perfect. We're going to subtract 12. We'll get 6x equals, is it 78? And then good, we'll divide by 6. So 78 divided by 6 gives us 13. X is 13. If you have one like that on your test, which you will, I made this exactly like the test. Do you feel like you'd be able to do it? It's, you want to self-assess. Go, hey, could I do this? And if not, just put like a little star next to that one. Okay. Do you see how these two are across from each other? That means they're congruent. We're going to just set them equal. So 3x plus 7 equals 5x minus 9. Hang in there with me. You guys are doing really good paying attention. So hang in there with me through like 1 or 2, and I'll give you like a little brain break, okay? Do you see how I set them equal because they're across from each other? Right? And then you're going to just solve it. I'm going to do minus 3x to both sides. And you see how I lined it up? I do this as a pep talk a lot as well. Math, in large part, is not really about intelligence. It's not really about being smart, because you have a calculator, right? It's more about organization, like staying organized. I've met people that are brilliant and can't get through this because they just write numbers all over the paper. Like, line it up, okay? So that's going to give us 7 equals, what do you think? We have 5x minus 3x. So good, 2x, and then the minus 9 is like just there. 2 more steps. What would we do next? Still trying to get x alone. Yeah. We're gonna add the 9 over. There you go. Not the x alone. So if you have the variable alone, you're gonna move everything away from the variable. So that's gonna give you 16 equals 2x. And then your last step is divide by 2. So 8 equals x. And if let me see if I can share my screen here. Are you all looking? Okay. Let me do this. I want to share. So what was our original equation? We go to our Desmos calculator. Let me show you a trick. What was our original equation? Say you forgot how to solve that. What was it? 3x plus 7? All right, whoops, plus 7. Okay, do you see how I typed 3x plus 7 in the first whole square? Okay, then I'm going to go down to the next one, and I'm going to type the other side of the equal sign, which is 5x minus 9. Now, I may need to like move this around and zoom out a little bit, but you guys are good with technology. You've grown up with it. Do you see how I have a blue line and a red line? I'm going to just click where they intersect. Do you see that? X is 8. You see that? How the x is 8? Good, let's go back to the other one. What was the previous equation? Like if you get stuck and you forget how to solve it, what was it? 4x minus 3, and then what else? Plus 2x plus 15. So I put that in there, and then the other side was 90. I'm going to have to zoom out a lot to get all, oh, you know what? When it's just a number, you have to put y equals in front of it. If you don't put the y equals, it won't show up. But if I zoom all the way out, do you see I have a green line and like a purple line? And if I click on where they intersect, do you see how it's 13? Do you feel like that'll help you get an answer right? Or you could check your work? Okay, good deal. We're going to do one more, and we'll check it, and then I'll give you a brain break. How do I stop sharing here? I need to stop. Oh, there we go. Okay, so number 12. Do you see how this makes a straight line? All right, that's worth 180. So we're going to do 7x plus 9x minus 12, good, equals 180. Now I'm going to expect you to be able to solve it. So we're going to solve it, and then we'll use the calculator to check. Like terms go together. So 7x plus 9x, the 16x minus 12 equals 180. Almost there. 2 more steps. What's next? Yeah, add 12. Perfect. Good job. Thanks for sticking in there with me. I kind of ran out of space. I wrote too big. 16x equals 192. And then last step, divide by 16. I don't know 192 divided by 16 off the top of my head, so hold on a second. 192 divided 16. I got 12. So stick with me for one more second. I'll share my screen and we'll check it. So you can use the calculator to check, but you have to know what to type. Don't stop listening to me. I'll give you a brain break, but let's check this one. What would I type into the first little box? 7x plus 9x minus 12. Okay, and then in the next one, yeah, perfect. You have to put y equals or it won't show up. Now I'm going to have to zoom out like a whole lot to get to 180, but do you see how there's a black line and a red line? I'm going to click on where they intersect. Did we get 12 when we solved it? See how it came up? The intersection is 12. Good deal. Stop sharing. Let me make this the full screen again. All right, so now we're getting into our distance and midpoint. For midpoint, and you need to make sure you read the question, like read it and see that it says midpoint. What was our little word that went with that, our little acronym? SAD, okay? It stands for stack, add, divide. Stack, add, divide. So you're gonna take these 2 points, stack them, so basically just recopy them one on top of the other. You're like, that's cool, I don't feel like it. Here's my pep talk for that. Anyone can rewrite the same thing that's on the paper. You can do it. I believe in you. You're just rewriting what's there. Just stack them one on top of the other. And then you're going to add them. You can use a calculator. I'm just going to kind of be your calculator right now. So -7 plus 5 is going to be -2. Again, you can use a calculator. Right? And then the other column, 2 plus -6 is -4. So we added them. And then the D is for divide. Specifically, we're going to divide by 2. Midpoint means you want the middle, so you're going to divide it in half. Again, use the calculator. Like, you need to know stack, add, divide, but after that, just type it in. -2 divided by 2 means -1. And then -4 divided by 2, -2. Perfect. And that's your answer. All right, for this one, it's distance. Again, just make sure you read the question. This one is distance. We're going to draw in our right triangle. So draw in your right triangle. Now, this was like the bell ringer we did on this. You're not going to count each individual tiny little box. Do you remember how, like, these are where your tick marks would be? Right. Put little dots. It helps. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do you see how I count 6 on that side? So what would I write down? It would be 6 squared. Good. Perfect. It's a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 6 squared plus, now try and count, or I heard somebody say it already. What is the other side worth? 5 squared. Good. Perfect. Bless you. Equals c squared. I'm going to type into Desmos 6 squared plus 5 squared. I'm just typing the whole. You need to know the formula, but then after that, you're just typing in the calculator, right? All right. So I just put that in the calculator. I got 61 equals c squared. To be clear, though, you can't type the c squared in the calculator. The calculator doesn't know what c squared is. You can only type numbers. It will only be numbers, not letters, okay? And then what's your last step to get the squared out? Square root. Perfect. So I'm going to type square root of 61, and I got 7.8. So you're just going to round to 1 decimal point. Okay, so a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, good deal. Let's flip over. I think the last thing was the Venn diagrams, right? Yep. So the first thing we're going to do is draw a big rectangle around the whole thing and figure out what number it is that needs to go outside of everything. So what I need you to do is read how many people were surveyed total. Do you see that up there, 39? So 39 people were a part of this survey. If you want the number that's outside all of it, you're going to add all of these numbers up and then do what? Subtract it from 39. Okay, so what I'm going to type in my calculator is, I'll just narrate as I type this. 4 plus 3 plus 12 plus 2 plus 1 plus 3 plus 7. All right, so I added all of that up and I got 32. And so I'm going to do 39 minus 32, and that gives me 7 that goes outside of the whole thing. Okay, now we're just going to use that to answer all the questions. I don't have a better explanation for Venn diagrams than, hey, look, right? So you're going to just have to watch me point to it. How many people own a dog? Do you see how this is the dog circle? Like, look, I'm going to cover up everything else. How can we get the answer? add up everything in the dog circle. So 12 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3. What is that, 19? Okay, perfect. All right, how many people own both a cat and a lizard? So here's cat, here's lizard. This is the overlap for cat and lizard. Do you see that there? Don't color on yours. Don't mess up your picture. I'm just trying to illustrate. So how many people own both cat and lizard? Yeah, 3. Perfect. 2 plus 1. How many people own just a lizard? So look at the lizard circle, but only lizard. 7. Good. Not overlapping with anything else. So that's 7. And then how many people own all 3 pets? 1. That one that's in the very center that overlaps all 3 of them. So only 1 person has all 3. And then this is kind of what I coached you to do first. How many people own none of them? 7. That's the 7 that's outside that we found first. Follow-up question. If every single person owns a pet, is the Venn diagram correct or is it wrong? Well, it would be wrong. Every single person doesn't own a pet because how many own none? 7. So you would say it's wrong because 7 own no pets. Or I guess at least not a cat, a dog, or a lizard. I guess they could have a rabbit or a chinchilla or a zebra. I don't know. They don't have a cat, a dog, or a lizard. So I'm going to say this while I'm still recording so that it's on the video. This is a tic-tac-toe. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to pick 3 problems in a row. They can be horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. Work out those 3. I have a place on Schoology for you to input your answers, and that's going to be your bell ringer, okay? So you're doing 3 that are in a row. Now listen, because there's 9 questions and you're only doing 3, when you submit, will it say 100%? No. Follow-up, I'll be impressed if anyone knows this. If you only do 3 out of the 9, do you know what percentage it will tell you that is if you get them all right? It'll be... So if you do your 3 questions and submit them and it says 33%, that's like a 100. Do you understand what I'm... Unless you want to go for it and do all 9 of them, but I'm not requiring you to do that. So you're going to pick 3, enter them on Schoology. If you get a 33, that means that's a 100 and you're done. If it's less than 33, look up which one you missed. Call myself or Mr. Robinson over and we'll help you. That is what your exit ticket is. So you have plenty of time to get that done before the bell rings.